Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the conversation series.
Because creators are businesses.
What we do is not simple.
Give, the fans everything that they deserve.
Being creative
is like doing a 5,000 piece puzzle.
Is something that you can learn and do over and over again.
Always be as authentic as I can be.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the conversation series. I am thrilled today to have Mr. AJ Voelpel. He is the director of content, social, and partnerships at Municipal, and he's also the founder and artist at Good Boy Originals. So I am so excited to be splitting worlds here and digging into books. AJ, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for letting me dip my toe in your world.
Oh, no, this is great. I've been looking forward to this for a while. Thanks so much for having me on. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's funny, like when you say, we always laugh at the offices of Municipal. Like we always laugh about titles just because, they're just like constantly changing. Like, what do they really mean? Because, I mean, you could put like custodian in my title because I'm literally sweeping up, vacuuming our new retail store. At night, in the mornings, like I'll wipe counters. Like I don't give a shit. Like I'm taking out garbages. Like Friday afternoon, I'm literally taking out all the garbages, and so I always laugh like when I hear titles, just because I'm like, oh, they're so like arbitrary and like what do they actually mean, right? Like it's funny.
Yes.
But I'm pumped. Thanks for having me on. This is awesome.
It's so funny because I hold the title of social media manager for like full-time job, but then I also have my own business and my own things, and I'm like, my titles get quite long and lengthy. I'm like, I get to podcast host, producer, editor. I'm like, all these things. I'm like,
it becomes obnoxious. It becomes obnoxious after a while.
I'm like, am I just adding more? Am my ego getting bigger with each of these titles?
Yes. The answer is yes. That's what I mean. That's why we always like to bring each other back down to earth. You know what I mean? We're like, wait a minute, like hold on a second. Like VP of brand, dude, like you were just like making lattes yesterday. Like give me a break. So yeah.
Coffee for everybody. What is that even?
Yeah.
Yes.
Literally, so it's funny. Yeah.
I love it. Well, I do want to hop into Good Boy Originals first to really kick it off. And it has such a unique story, and it's rooted in this New York culture that you've got. How has your upbringing and your parents' entrepreneurial spirit shaped your artistic approach?
Oh man, they literally go together one in one, right? So Good Boy Originals is my side hustle, right? So, full time is my I call it day job at Municipal, but it's really morning, noon, and night job.
Yeah.
Same thing goes for Good Boy, right? Like there's really I don't work on it until really after I get home, and it's like my nights, like sometimes extremely long nights in my studio. I have a studio in my garage. But essentially, Good Boy Originals is it's I call it object art. So people from around the world they send me small objects. I specialize in matchbooks. A lot of golf objects also, just from my background in golf, and one of my biggest passions is golf. So people send me these objects, and then I do fine art photography. But then I also do my own matting and framing and printing. So this little matchbook now blows into this 40 by 60 frame piece with museum acrylic and fine art paper. Like it looks like an art piece. And it started out as a way for me to just gift people these things that are meaningful to them. And so it was always very thoughtful in nature, right? So going back to your intro there, like my parents, they had a very entrepreneurial spirit, not because they started businesses, but because they always had B and C jobs, right? Like they always, like growing up, like my dad always did more than just his full-time job. My mom was like, she was a cook by trade, but then she also had like a side baking business. And she also did like a lot of ironing for someone, for a neighborhood friend who was like very wealthy. So like things like that, like that, where it was always like, oh, how could I
Yeah.
always like make sure there was more than one income coming in. And that's like always been my mindset since like I got my first full-time job when I was 12 years old. You know what I mean?
Love it.
Like
Love it.
literally like working at a restaurant when I was 12 years old, but then like also doing other things on the side. There's mowing lawns. I grew up in New York, like you said. There was shoveling snow. Like
Oh, yeah.
I was never just doing one thing, and it's because my mom and dad always hustled their asses off and were always like, AJ, what else? How else are you making money? Because like just because you're doing this, no. You got to make more. Like so, it was always like that. So yeah, so it's interesting how it's kind of come full circle to me, where I'm doing both these things, really, I mean, full time, essentially, because they're both just so busy,
I love it. And
Yeah.
you hinted at it, your love for golf. And I
Yeah.
love all of your, like, I was looking through your gallery and I love everything that you've got in there of golf stuff. You worked with Callaway Golf for 5 years. Is that
Yeah,
right?
like I think it was like between like 5 and 6 years, something like that. Yeah. That's why I moved out to California because they were located in San Diego. So I got a call out of the blue one day from the VP of marketing at Callaway, and he got my name through I guess a mutual friend, and he was like, "Hey, we're going to start this position. It's a content position, and we're gonna it's based out in California." And like as a New Yorker, the last place you think about going, aside from like Los Angeles, I guess, like but like I mean, I still have people I grew up with who have never been to California. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
it's just like you always work in New York. You know what I mean? Like you might travel to LA or San Diego for business, but like you ain't living out there. You know what I mean? And like my wife is from New York, so that was a really hard thing. But again, I'm an opportunist at heart, and when opportunity presents itself, I rarely hesitate. Like I don't know if you would say that yes, I'm calculated, but I'm also very much, I do a lot of things off of instinct and not so much data driven, to the reluctancy of some of the people I work with who are like, AJ, this is doing better than this because we see it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, no, like this just feels right, So but Callaway was amazing. We had an amazing marketing team, definitely the most dynamic in golf in terms of like the content that we were producing. We were really bringing the culture of golf as we enjoyed it to the forefront, whereas a lot of brands were stuck in this sort of old way of marketing golf and just like marketing to the same people. We were like, no, like you guys realize like who is actually playing golf these days? Like, Scarface from Ghetto Boys plays 360 rounds a year. Let's go film with him. And we did, like for like 3 or 4 times. So like things of that, of just like thinking outside the stereotypical cliche golf marketing. And then so then my boss from Callaway left to start Municipal, and then I left with him to start it. And that like kind of, and then 5 years later, we're here.
Full circle.
Yeah, it all doesn't make any sense. It's crazy.
It all comes back around. But what is it about golf, going back to Good Boy Originals, what is it about golf for you that really like sparks your creativity and all that storytelling there?
Yeah, well, I've always just had like a fascination with just like all the objects that like when you go to a golf course and you're about to tee off. Are you a golfer by any chance?
I'm not a golfer, but I have family who is, so you throw lingo at me, I will understand it.
Yeah, no, like so like when you show up at a golf course and you're about to tee off on the first hole, usually next to the first hole tee box or on the way to that tee box, like there's a little box of scorecards, tees, divot tools, pencils, whatever. And like I've always saved all of my scorecards and pencils from all the courses I played at since I was, I mean, legit. I started playing golf when I was 12, 13 years old. So I've literally had a shoebox like in my room with all the scorecards and all the objects like that I've collected.
Yeah.
And I've always just been like fascinated with them, like the club logos, just like the designs of these things, like the matchbooks that like golf courses will give you. Yeah. And I always like just like, oh, these are so cool. Like, how do I like make this bigger and put it on my wall because I just it sparks such a memory for me. It sparks such a thoughtful memory. Like remember like, oh yeah, that's my favorite course. Like remember like that time I was there and like who I played with. Well, like should be that should be a memory that is on the wall somewhere. Like that should be something that you are consistently reminded of because it's such a happy moment. And that's ultimately what spawned the idea of Good Boy, is like me going through this collection of things that I had. And I'm like, oh man, this stuff is like, some of this stuff is so pretty. And like, what happens if I just like got really close to it and like just shot it on white just so you could just see the object, and like that's it, let the object talk. And like it was all self-taught, and I just like did it. I experimented with different papers. Then I became like a paper geek of like what printed out on what, like put in my 10,000 hours on all that shit, like the framing aspect, like just self-taught, all of it. And now it still changes every day, Danielle, you know, like it's still my techniques and thoughts behind it. But like the idea of like having these things is really what led to this idea. And then you just got to go for it, right? Like then you're just like word of mouth marketing. You know, I've never invested any money in marketing with Good Boy. I've just always had the golf world is a very insular world. So people get this unique thing and they tell everybody they know about it, and then they want that unique thing and so on. So like, fortunately, I haven't had a market at all.
That's awesome.
You know, and then obviously with Ben, with Wise, with Municipal, like it's, if I did market it, it would become a little overwhelming for me. Just because like I don't have any employees for it yet. I have a couple people who help me out, like local people who like help me pack things. But like I haven't really like formalized it in a way that I guess I should be or would have I not had Municipal. You know what I mean?
Yep. If it wasn't your B.
Totally.
Yep.
Yes, totally. Yeah. Then I would give it a lot more thought about like, oh yeah, this is way bigger than I think it is, which like I think it still is. But I also love the aspect of like dealing with every step. And I think people appreciate it.
Yep. I think it's also beautiful too. Like I feel like when things become a certain job and not like a side passion, side thing you love, then it stays fun in a way. It stays something that at the end of the day, you're like, I can take a breath. I can kind of go enjoy this B side of things after I've had a really hard day with A.
100%, because one, to your point, I would never do it if I didn't enjoy doing it, right? Like I have a job like that's like the company is growing and like doing really well, but like yeah, it's that thing of like, oh no, I need to like kind of keep my hands busy. Like I need to, like, somebody is asking me to create this thing for them or somebody that is really meaningful to them. And to me, that sparks my passion, right? Like that sparks like, oh, this person is like literally paying me this amount of money to create this because they're count, like they know that I'm capable of doing it. Yep. So that just drives me to be like, oh, I'm going to make this so damn good. Like, you know, I'm going to blow their expectations. I am going to completely blow their expectations out of the water. And like that notion of like, doing that on a consistent basis is like, yes, it feeds my passion. Yes, it's also like tiring though, you know, like it's with 2 kids at home, also like, you know, just staying up late at night and you know, that sort of thing. But again, it's also something that like, hey, if I don't feel like doing it tonight, guess what, Danielle, I'm not going to do it tonight.
Yeah.
And you know what, but I set those expectations to my clients. I'm like, what is the timetable? Well, like, when do you really need it? Because that's when I'll get it to you, you know, like that sort of thing. But it's about like setting expectations, right? Like that's communicating. As long as you are transparent in that, and like, right, if like, hey, guess what, it's Thanksgiving week when we're recording this, and I don't feel like doing it, then like I'm not going to do it, you know. I'm just like, I'm just not going to do it. It's just, you know, and maybe you don't want me to do it because maybe I'm like not in the correct headspace to like operate at the level that you want me to operate at anyway. So like, it's better off that like I just go by my gut and how I feel. So yeah, but I never get questioned. Nobody ever questions me on like, hey,
Yeah.
how come you're not like working on that? Because I tell them beforehand that I'm like, hey, listen, like this might be 7 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it is, you know. So, but a lot of that is learning, right? A lot of that is uh, setting those expectations, right? But that's a learned thing because when I started this, I was trying to get things out as quickly as possible, but I'm like, okay, that's not sustainable, you know? So it's like, you know, you learn, and as long as you communicate properly and do those things, like then, you know, everything else takes care of itself.
Absolutely.
You know?
I get the most creative energy at nighttime, like when I'm chilling and all these different, sometimes I'll get it during the day, but it's very rare. Are there certain instances or places that you know, like, hey, if I am in this environment, creativity is really going to spark for me?
Yeah, that's a great question, and something I think about often,
Yeah.
actually, because I'm in the mindset right now, Danielle, of being like, what are those things for me?
Yeah.
My wife was actually like asking me a question very similar this weekend, as a matter of fact, because I was saying like, um, I've we've been getting a store of our flagship store ready
Yeah.
at Municipal for, I mean, literally for years, and we finally just opened up last week. We had like a grand opening. The crowds have been great. It's not far from where I live in Oceanside, California. But when like, so like they've been like really long days at Municipal.
Yeah.
And she's like, are you just like tired? Are you not feeling creative? I said, no, I'm not tired really. I'm just like not feeling super creative, right? Like I'm just not feeling like, um, so this is, so it's a great question because, so this is what I was like actively thinking of. So there are times when I get a lot of client projects. Not a time. There's always a lot of client projects.
Yeah.
I have, I think, 50 on the books right now.
Wow.
So like they want something specific, right?
Yeah.
The times when I am at my most creative is when I sort of just like stop with client projects for a day and just like do something that I want to do an idea that I've either had in my head for a while or whatever that is. And this could like literally happen. It could happen after this call where I'm either just like looking at things and just like in my head just like imagining like how I would do it in an art piece, or just like, but it's the creativity comes when I'm not doing something that somebody wants. I'm
Yeah.
doing something that I want to do.
Yeah.
But Danielle, like I lose track of that because of the volume of the custom stuff,
Yeah.
and the specific custom stuff. And I always have to be like, okay, hold on a second. Yes, just like, wait a minute. I've been wanting to do this for a while. So like, that's how I really that's how I spark my creative back of just like not following rules, essentially, right? Like when you don't follow rules, like that's when you're at your most creative. Same goes for me,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's funny,
I can guarantee everybody that like 9 to 5, it's rare you're going to get anything. But if I sit down and I'm like not thinking about it, and I think in the same notion that you are like not trying to think about it in the grand scheme of things, I'm like, it comes a lot smoother for me. And it's
totally
nice. It's a nice
yeah.
flow of energy.
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes total sense, right? Like it's because you actually have time to think, right? Like you're 9 to 5, like you have a plan, you have a schedule, right? You have to talk to me at 1 o'clock. You have to talk to this person. You have to get this deadline done. But then it's like, oh, all right. Like when you're just like, all right, give me a break out of that stuff. And you're like, think freely. You're like, oh shit. Like the stuff that you come up with is amazing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's, yeah. It makes perfect sense.
It's nice. We got an introduction earlier in terms of titles and how yours is yours is a little bit more fluid than what's down on paper, but now you've worked there for a while now, overseeing content, social, and these partnerships. But how has your role really evolved since you first joined Municipal?
Well, I think the best part about Municipal is a lot of us have worked together for a while. Particularly like when we started the company, some of the first employees were like people that I worked with in the past. So, and there was such this spectacular dynamic between all of us. Like we have a track record of creating really unique things together, really creative things together. So the beauty is that like it was never like like yes, to start it was like AJ, like we want you to lead our content and social, like what that looks like off the bat, and then like how you evolve with the brand and how the brand evolves, because the brand is constantly changing. The brand design is constantly getting ironed out, and lately it's been getting a little bit. We've been modernizing it. We've been getting it a little cleaner, but still not losing Municipal's edge that we sort of have in like this this sportswear, performance wear, kind of world that we live in. But like the question was always like, well, okay, AJ, like, yes, you're going to lead our content and partners and all that, whatever that is. But is that exactly where you should end up? Like the idea was always like, this is where you're going to start. Like, then find out like what are those things that you obviously like make you tick and that you're super passionate about. Like, yes, like you can lead content, but like guess what? Somebody could also lead content. Like that's not just like a you job. Like if you find yourself really circling around this other idea or just like thinking about this other thing. So like lately for me, that's been hospitality. What does our hospitality look like when you come into a retail shop? Or what does it look like when you engage with a customer service or customer engagement person on our team? Like, what is that experience for the consumer that like makes them feel like they are part of something a lot bigger than just buying a pair of shoes or buying whatever, but they really feel like, oh shit, like Municipal, like they seriously care about me. Like they're asking me like these questions, like they're engaging in a way that's like not robotic or AI driven. It's very conversational. It's you're always dealing with a real person. So like lately for me, that has like that's been a big focus of mine. And obviously now with this store behind us, like it's a store, but it's also a coffee shop over there. It's also a barber shop over there. It's also a lounge right behind me. So like there's a lot of different areas to it, right? So like it's very dynamic. And I want like the people that work here and how they engage with customers to also be very dynamic, and to like when somebody walks in the door, they could be excited to come into the new Municipal shop. But like if they're not walking out more excited than when they came in, that's a big problem in my eyes. Like I just take the relationship building and hospitality very seriously. I don't take very much seriously at all, like ever, except for the way people feel. I take that very seriously. Like if you don't feel good, like then like that just hits me hard, because it's one of my top values, like empathy, relationships. Those are the peak values for me. And I want everybody to feel that. I didn't start a company to have people not feel like that. We didn't start this company to go through the motions. Like we started this company to inspire people, to make them look great. The clothing feels great. Like that's ultimately why we started it in the first place. So if they're not going to feel like that, then like I feel like I completely whiffed. So that area like is definitely like, I don't know to say if like if I'm eventually gonna be in sort of that mindset full time, but like I'm certainly interweaving it with content like in a big way, and our social content and our customer experience. Like so I'm tying all those things together. So it's definitely evolved in that end, where it's just I'm not just putting out like whatever, a video on Instagram of like whatever. Like it's more meaningful. It's becoming more meaningful, and I think that's like the way it's changing the most.
I completely understand that, and I feel like part of the thing you were trying to get at too was when people come for an experience, you want them to come back. And especially the space that you guys have, you want friends. You want them to be able to, so that whole experience, the way you were describing it makes total sense, because you want people to have this incredible experience that has them coming back. It is unlike anything that they get in a Nordstrom or somewhere else that they're
Exactly right.
a same kind of experience.
Totally. Yeah, so like the tricky thing is it's a best in class philosophy
Yeah.
that is one, you need to lead by example. Like if I have that mentality and I just talk about that mentality to
Yeah.
people, they're gonna say, okay, great. If I'm actually living out that mentality and showcasing it, that's when the buy-in comes, right? Like that's when the people, like the newer associates, they see that passion, they see the positivity, it feeds them,
Yeah.
it makes them um it instills this culture, this mindset of like, okay, we see how like important that is to not like forget about AJ for a second personally. Like, no, like that's the brand experience. Like that's how the brand was supposed to be formulated from the beginning to really be best in class in service and problem solving and just like experience. Like it was always supposed to, like that was the blueprint. But when they see it, and instead of you just talking about it, they're like, oh yeah, like that's the way I'm supposed to do it. So like, um, but Danielle, then to your point, it's like, yes, you want to provide that unique experience, but here the kicker is like when that person comes in again,
Yeah.
you have to do it again. Like
Yeah.
the consistency, it's a difference between Michelin star restaurants and non-Michelin star restaurants, right? It's oh, can you do it consistently? Because that's the real key, right? Like you could do it once, everybody could do it once. Can you do it 10 times in a row?
Yeah.
That's the challenge of getting the buy-in to the hiring the proper people, right? Hiring people with this ambitious mindset, of wanting to like be excellent, right? Wanting to be excellent at something, leading by example of always being excellent or providing excellent service, um, and making it a cultural thing. Because if you can make it a cultural thing, well then guess what? You're going to have the best restaurant in the world, or you're going to have the best retail shop in the world. So like very difficult, easier said than done, but like that's something that definitely drives me, that I want to be a real thing, because it is a real thing. It's authentic to me. Like it's authentic to me. It's authentic to the brand.
Yeah.
Like, so I want that to feel like a real thing, you know? So
100%. 100%.
yeah.
When you got the call from your boss, when you were at Callaway Golf, saying, "Hey, come with me over to Municipal," what was it that drew you to come over to Municipal when it was so early too?
Yeah, it's so funny. It the bit the business person in me now, 5 years later, versus at the time, would have been a little not more reluctant per se, to, but I guess the person who asked me to go with them, Harry Arnett, my boss now, the CEO, who's in the back, like, he's someone who's a just a proven leader, right? Just I'm already motivated. A lot of people I work with are already motivated. So like we don't necessarily need more motivating, but like he always found a way to motivate us creatively, and went to bat for us creatively. That gave us like such freedom and such and just like no boundaries. That was like so, I mean, it was amazing, like especially to do it in the golf space that we were doing it in.
Yeah.
It was like unheard of at the time, you know what I mean? Like it was so unheard of. And like for creative people that we were, he sensed that, and then he, in addition to like any ideas that he would throw out that like maybe like whatever seemed crazy, like he gave us the leeway of just like, what's like your idea, like what's your big idea? What's your crazy idea? And like, okay, so do it. And like, it was the opposite of what you would, I think, normally see from a person that was in his position for such a classic brand, right? Who the brand already has like such notoriety, and to to change the marketing, to be so bold in marketing, was really just, again, it was just unprecedented. Like there weren't, and then like, I mean, I could name you a dozen brands, not only in golf, but just like big brands that took a lot of that blueprint of like what he kind of created with our group,
Yeah.
of this idea of just like this non-linear marketing, this experimental marketing, that still today, the reverberation, forget about golf, because like, yes, every golf company was like, okay, we need to do that, but
Yeah.
forget about that. I'm talking about like other big brands that like,
Yeah.
that took a piece of it because we were just culturally relevant with just culture at the time. So like, so when somebody like that asks you to go, and you already have a relationship, right, and a dynamic relationship, um, it's, you almost like, if because it happened where Callaway's like, well, no, like we'd love for you to stay. Like I like the again, this is like the business person in me wouldn't say yes immediately, like I kind of did already, right? Like I was already dead set. I was already dead set on like, no, I'm going no matter what. Like they could
Yeah.
offer me whatever they want,
I'm
and
going.
I'm saying no because I'm going. I'm gone. I'm like, this is like a gamble, but like I love the gamble. I
Yeah.
love the opportunity. So like, it was one of those things where it was like, now if somebody asks me, like now, like I'll now, like the business person in me is gonna be like, oh no, like well, yeah, like I might possibly stay. Like
Yeah.
what's good, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but like back then, I was just like, no, I'm gone. Like he asked me, I'm gone. Like there's no way about it. But yeah, it's such a funny thing. Again, like a great learning experience, right? Of just like, because like, this hasn't been easy. Like Municipal has not, like
No,
startups. Like, do you have experience with startups at
I
all?
do.
Or
I do. I'm in one.
I mean,
I'm technically in one right now.
there you go. I
Tail
mean,
end of it, but it is very much, yeah.
yeah. So it's like, it's a lot of stress, it's a lot of anxiety. I just had my first kid that year. I now have two kids, but like, so have first kid,
Yeah.
had job security, was making fine
Yeah.
enough money at Callaway. So it was definitely a gamble.
Yeah.
A bigger gamble, I think, that like what I know now, right? Obviously, like, hindsight is whatever, but like sure, it was a gamble. Like it's been, but like in terms of like lessons and business lessons and
Yeah.
life lessons, like invaluable, in for sure. Like in that, like if I had to do it over again, I would still do it over again for sure. Like for sure, like there's just no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But I would also like the savviness that I've developed, not only through Municipal, but starting a business on my own with
Yeah.
with really like nobody, with Good Boy. I'm way more savvy in terms of value and my
Yes.
time and what things are worth, and because business is business, right? At the end of the day, we're loyal. Like we are all loyal people here.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's business is a fickle thing, man. I mean, it's it's you really got to go by your instincts, and not entirely depend on people, because you just don't know how people are going to shift. And the New Yorker in me, the New York cynic is in me, is like, I trust like four people in this world, like my mom, my dad, my brother, and my sister.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I don't trust anybody else.
Yeah.
So like, I could, you could be my best friend, and I'd still like look at you like, is this person gonna just like, just like, so but yeah, no, I mean, it's we started during COVID, so that
Yeah.
first year was, we didn't even know if we were going to get through that first year. That's like when we launched the website in
Yeah.
2020 and stuff. So, but 5 years later, we have this. I would argue it's the most dynamic retail experience, not only in San Diego, but I would say in Southern California right now for sure. With all the things that we have going on in here, and all the plans, and making it a communal space. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, so like we went from that to our manifesting this this big idea. The idea was always to be a big brand, this big, inspiring, performance-based brand, doing things that we enjoy doing, inspiring people that are like-minded, and so it's coming to fruition. It hasn't been easy though. Nothing's easy though, right? If it was easy, everybody would do it. So it's I love the hard work. That's why I thrive on.
I do want to hit on something just that you had said, because what's been so cool about Municipal and how you guys have done this is you've built in public, and it's one partially because of who one of your founders.
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, yeah.
Now I'm going to educate everybody real quick who doesn't know about Municipal.
Right. Yeah. I should have. Shame on me.
Is Mark Wahlberg. But I think that's been the cool thing, because even for me, as someone who went to school, studied business, it's like been an educational thing to watch the TV shows, follow you guys on social media, be able to see you guys do all of this stuff and build. It's been super educational and super fun to see what you guys are doing, who you're working with, the high profile collaborators, influencers, all these different athletes. It's been incredibly cool to watch the growth of Municipal and everything you guys have been doing.
Yeah, no, thanks. First for following along, and that was like, a big part of that was by design. Like when we were starting this company, we were like, hey, well, like, there's opportunities when we start this company that people are going to film us around the clock, which they did, which was real. Like there were people. I mean, we had, oh my God, thousands of hours on the cutting room floor, of the first season of Wall Street, which is what Danielle's referring to, which it followed a couple of Mark's businesses. He's a serial entrepreneur, but Municipal was one of those. And we launched that right in April 2020, I believe, like right during the pandemic. So obviously that was like when people were streaming like just all day long, right? So the reception to that was just like crazy. Like I don't know, Danielle, if like it was definitely a catalyst for keeping us going as a company. Like I don't know if like we would have made it through COVID, because our funding was pulled immediately in 2020, like March 2020. Like it was just gone. So that premiered in the fall. I'm sorry, that premiered in the fall because these things happen in April and May with like our funding being pulled. Harry, Mark, Stephen Levinson, who the three co-founders, they bootstrapped, they funded it themselves. So they didn't have to fire any employees or, just because they really believed in this idea. So they like literally funded it themselves, which is like crazy. Like, if it wasn't those three people, I don't think anybody else would have been able to fund it. One, I don't think it just would have been too big of a risk for people. So like they definitely did that. And I don't think any three other people would have done that. Right. So you saw all that, right? Like, right. You saw all that on Wall Street. Then we did a season 2. Now we're talking about like, doing more programming, as it relates to this shop specifically, of like these real-time edits and just like, because we have a bunch of characters at Municipal that like we want people to get to know. And like I love like a Barstool is a great example of like a company who does that great of just getting you to buy into the personalities, like, and we have no shortage of goofballs here that like people would definitely get a kick out of. And obviously Mark, like me being the biggest goofball, but Mark always wants to do everything on camera like authentically, right? Like he's the best. I love being around that guy. He's the best. I wouldn't be at Municipal if he wasn't like like one of the best people to be around ever. He really is. Like he's just like he's just so engaging, and we like to spar a little bit. I'm from New York, he's from Boston, so like there's like that natural so like there's that natural little rivalry that I always like get him going on, like whatever, if it's the Knicks, the Celtics.
It's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, he's like my arch enemy. That's why I tell him, like, Mark, you're like my arch enemy, man, but so like he's the best to be around. He like, I mean, he loves the brand 100 times more than the next person, like And maybe that's why, Danielle, like I don't lead with that. Like when somebody asks me about the brand, like I never lead with the Mark piece of it because I think maybe I'm reluctant because it's really not a celebrity brand at all. Like it's just like it's a brand that he was extremely passionate about, that he wanted to co-found with these two other people that he did. And like he lives it, he breathes it. He is FaceTiming my boss probably right now. I am not kidding you. Like I could literally take this computer back and he's probably FaceTiming Harry with like an idea or like a color.
Yeah.
Like so so and I think if I did lead with that, or if like that is all we sort of talked about, not from his aspect, from a municipal aspect of like, hey, somebody doesn't know about the company. Like, sure, like, I mean, I do all the social, so like, I could tell you this, like, that's never the lead because like it's bigger than just one person. It's bigger than one person. It's bigger than Mark.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mark, but it's bigger than you. You know what I mean? So like, and he's big, but it's supposed to be
absolutely
way bigger than any one person. So, you know, like if I'm like, oh yeah, it's a company that Mark Wahlberg co-founded, I think the thinking of the other person who doesn't know about this brand is like, oh, it's like a celebrity brand. Like this person is just like endorsing it, right? Like, and I don't want that to happen because that is, it's so could it be the case, you know? Like, trust me, if it was a celebrity brand, I wouldn't. I'd be like, trust me, I'd go find something else I'm passionate about and do it, you know? Like but it's not that, you know?
For the longest time, I thought it was like a Nike situation where he was one of Municipal's people that they were working with. I, for the longest time, had no idea he was one of the co-founders. I thought it was a sponsorship scenario until I found out. I'm like, okay, he's full in on this. Like he believes in this brand and all of this stuff. So it took me a little while. I was like, this makes more sense now why you see him wearing Municipal every single day.
That's actually really funny. A couple people have told me that, but it's funny from my standpoint of like, oh yeah, I could easily see that, right? Like this guy, like he's like literally in doing videos every day, and I'm not asking him to do any of it. Like I am not like he is doing it because he just lives the brand. Like he lives the municipal lifestyle. Like the quote unquote the municipal lifestyle. We never use like that phrase, the municipal lifestyle. I suppose like we use like the mindset of someone who wears municipal is someone who has all these things throughout the day that they're doing, that they're aspiring to, or like, you know, this is the person that is like you, like you're hustling, like you have a podcast, like you have another thing that you're doing, like you are going to the gym, you're going to a coffee shop to work, you're going to a meeting, like you need like all of our gear is supposed to accommodate all of those diverse things. So like so that's why he loves showcasing it himself, because he's like, well, I only wear Municipal. Obviously, one, it's my company, but two, like we truly make the things that I need in terms of comfort, in terms of style. Like I don't need to wear anything else. Like unless it's like you know, like if he's going on, well actually no, that's not true. I was gonna say if he's going on like Tonight Show, but on Jimmy Fallon he wore just like the hoodie I'm wearing in black, but like sometimes we'll wear like something like nice, you know what I mean? Like we don't have those pieces yet. So like, but yeah, he like truly lives the he truly has the municipal mindset, right?
Absolutely.
Like just very diverse, very versatile, but like always like very aspirational, even though, you know, like he's in the sort of made it category, right? Like this guy is like the peak of just like he's had a lot of success in his career, but he's still aspiring to be in the best shape of his life. He's still aspiring to be a great family person. He's still aspiring to make the best movies he could make, right? So like that's the mindset. You could always keep going up, you know? So and he's like does it on his own. Like I don't even have to be like, yo, Mark, you like post some shit on Instagram? Like he's like I've never had to tell him that because he's just like literally loves it so much, and he's like, yeah, it's the best. He's the best. I love that guy.
I always love when you don't have to ask leadership to do stuff for you on social. I'm like,
Oh my God.
You just made my life easier.
You know what it is. I mean, it's like it's a miracle.
It is. It's like,
yeah.
mark it on the calendar. It has happened.
Yeah. It's so
We're
funny,
gonna
man.
get it again, but yes, incredibly lucky that sitting in that position.
Totally.
During the Yankees game, y'all's TV spot that you guys did have with the commercial, it was so cool. As we've been talking about this whole learning experience, seeing that spot on TV, incredibly cool to see all of that come to life. And as we've been talking about this, like, yes, you saw shots of him, but really focusing on all these different elements of Municipal that it is built for, which was incredibly cool to see. You saw gymnasts, you saw people working out, you saw a chef. All of it was incredibly cool to see. Truly the Municipal brand in this one commercial.
Yeah, and good on you and good on you, Danielle, to as a business person and as a marketer, like to recognize that, right? Because you just hit on the head. Like I couldn't have I was obviously like, my colleague and I worked like crazy on that spot and like all the additional spots on the people that were featured in that spot. But like the whole idea was, right, you're showing to show that like, yes, like our the people that represent us in official capacities, like, yeah, some of them are athletes, like, but like no, but like this is really an entrepreneurial mindset. Like this mindset, like this resonates with business people, with chefs, like you said, barbers who we've partnered with in the past who have their own shops, fitness instructors, agency people that start their own agencies, right? Like, so this extends far beyond sports, like, and far beyond athletes. Like this is like, no, like the like the majority of people who wear this are like are professionals that have this mindset of like, right, our moniker, our I guess it's like our official, unofficial. No, it's like pretty much our official. Dream, plan, hustle, repeat. Like it's a lot of brands use dream, a lot of brands use hustle, but but like the planning in that, the planning and repeating are really the two, like internally, those are the two words that we speak about authentically internally, because we know that they're like the most important parts of that, right? What we were talking about before, consistency. But like the plan, like, yeah, everybody's got like a dream, a goal, an aspiration. But like if you're not putting a plan against that, then you have nothing, like there's no substance. So those were people in that commercial spot that like actually like like they had dreams, like they either wrote out or planned out with their teams on like how they were going to. Wyndham Clark is like the best example of this ever, because we first met him when he was number 200 something in the world in the world golf rankings. He like said to us straight face at our very first office, like 2 months after we started the company, I want to be the best golfer in the world. He said it with a straight face. We knew his background coming from golf, obviously. We knew that he had the talent, but like his current situation, he was like number 300 in the world or whatever it was. But like he said it with such a level of believability that we were like, when he left the meeting, we were like, because everybody says they want to be the best golfer in the world, but he told us like his plan to achieve it, right? He's like, I'm changing my equipment, I'm changing my apparel, which is why I'm talking to you guys. I'm changing my eating habits. He went through a list of like everything that he was changing, and then like he actually like he followed through with those plans. But like I remember like when he left that meeting, me, Harry, and Velardo, a guy I worked closely with, we were like, I believe him. I think I believe the guy. I was like, it's crazy.
Yes.
I was like, it's crazy. And it's crazy that like it kind of happened. Like he won the US Open, like all the things that happened afterward were crazy, like in terms of like getting to where he was to where he is now
Yeah.
in a span of 3 years or whatever it was. Yeah, 3 years is insane. Like is nuts.
Yeah.
But like after that meeting, we were like, I think he was pretty serious, right? Like, were you guys getting like,
He wasn't just
you
fucking
know? So
around
like,
with us, right? Like he was.
totally. So like, yeah. So all the people in that video, and that's why we did like on if you go on YouTube or our website, like we have like separate mini docs on each of those
Yeah.
people because like they actually like they actually like had a dream or like a goal. They actually made a plan. They actually hustled to make it happen.
Yeah.
Like they just went full on focus and vision, and then like they keep doing it, and like they're not satisfied. So like it's a real spot, and the music that we chose, like we just
Love it.
I wish we had a way bigger marketing budget to get that thing on TV. Like so it's like, you know, everybody's seen it. That's not the case right now because we're you know we're I guess we still consider ourselves a startup, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have the, you know, we don't have Lululemon money. You know what I mean, like that type of thing.
Yeah.
So, but I'm definitely. I mean, we were talking about last week of just like, yeah, we got to get that spot back in rotation. Like it's just too. We just like believe in it too much. You know what I mean? Yeah, we just believe in it too much, and it's like when you have that really special piece, you're just like you want everybody to see it, and you're like so mad. The marketer in me is like so mad that so many people haven't seen it yet, you know, and I'm just like,
Yep.
what a whiff. But hey, it's all right. Well, you know, I'll get over it.
How happy were you that it aired during the Yankees game, though? The New York.
It was, trust me, that was by design. I mean, that was literally like my boy Scott, who runs our digital marketing, is like, all right, these are a couple options that we have for media placement, and I'm like, that one, Yankees,
Yankees.
Yankees. Like that one.
If it wasn't the
You know,
biggest,
yes.
like the middle finger to, especially with you and Mark's rivalry back and forth. Like, hey,
I know.
Yankees game, not a Red
Although-
Sox game.
Although I'm a huge Mets fan, which is kind of funny, but I'm just like New York market. You had me at New York market. You know what I mean? So it's like that's like, yeah. So I'm all in. So yeah, that's funny. I love that you noticed that though. That's good on you to notice all those things, and you know, real business chops right there.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's a compliment coming from you. So I will take that. That's my win for the day.
Big win.
Yeah.
Love it.
My last question for you, AJ, is just what continues to drive your passion for, you know, Good Boys, for all of this stuff with Municipal that you're doing? What continues to drive your passion for it?
Well, I think creating opportunities, creating more and more opportunities for the company, for both companies, for my family, and you know, obviously, like it's funny because how your priorities change, right? They change so with different things in life, where, you know, my priorities 5 years ago are completely different than they are now with two young kids, you know, with my wife who takes care of my kids full time. And now, you know, my mentality has always been like you know, it's always like, one, work has to be fun.
Yeah.
You have to be passionate about what you're doing for work. That's something that my parents were, they're like, hey, do you see us working these jobs that we are not enjoying? Guess what? That doesn't have to be you. Like,
yeah,
you know, me and my brother and my sister growing up, we're all separated by 1 year apart.
Okay.
Who are, you know, the closest people to me still, my brother and my sister. Talk on I mean, me and my brother talk, you know, 40 times a day. They're both in New York, but you know, it's that thing of like, well, you better make sure you love what you're doing, because it could compensate for compensation, and it just, in terms of just like all balance and all that. So I think you know, my goals going forward are just like I have a great balance where, like, yes, like I have these two very busy jobs and stuff, but like I mean, my kids are the most important thing to me. by 100 times.
Yeah.
And it's never like no all the time because I have to work. Like never. Like it's always like let's
do it.
coach your team. Let's coach your best. Like, oh, Kai, you want to play basketball? Well, I'll coach your team. Like, Rome, you want to play t-ball? Like, how can that, like, so we do so much stuff like, off work hours and just, flexible about that. But, as I'm getting older and family needs things, it's like, okay, just keep creating more opportunities for myself, that are going to lead to, better financial situations, better situations for my kids and my wife and whatever that sort of, I don't know what that means really, but it's just like continue to work hard and listen to people and lead with instincts. My instincts have never let me down, and as long as I kind of keep doing that and creating opportunities and like getting opportunities like this. I mean, I love this stuff. Like this is amazing that you even asked me to come on this. But I love this stuff. And I love people like yourself that are creating opportunities for yourself. Like I just love opportunists. Like I love that it's so contagious to me, like I just I love people who are hustling and just like being driven with passion. And I ultimately know if I lead with passion and we deliver quality products for both Municipal and Good Boy, that only good things are going to happen. Right. So, it's just more of it. It's just more of it. Keep getting better, keep listening to people. Yeah. The quote that we always say, and from Anthony Burrell, is just work hard and be nice to people. I mean, that's it. That's it. There's no secret sauce. It's just that. So
yes,
that's where we're at right now. So
100%. Love to hear it. AJ, it was such a pleasure to get to talk to you and get to dip my toe in your world and everything that.
Oh, so nice. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. And you guys, I'm going to have all of AJ's socials linked down below, as well as Municipal and Good Boys too. Go check out his gallery and everything he's got in there. But AJ, just thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, Danielle, thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure, and I really appreciate your time. And I'm so excited for people to check this out. I really am.
I'm so excited. And you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And as always, I will see you guys back here next time. Bye, y'all.